Good morning, everybody. Like I told you yesterday, I'll be going on a conference again today, so sorry for my absence. But today we're going to be practicing with our unit conversions. So what I have here is I have just basically the most important part of that table we filled in yesterday that had all the prefixes in it, and I have three examples that we're going to work through together. Before we get started, Jakai, wake up. Dolan, maybe you want to come over here and sit in front of the projector so you can see better. And Alyssa, hopefully I'm talking loud enough for you. Oh, and lastly, completely forgot what I was going to say. All right, never mind. Oh yeah, your quiz is going to be on Monday. Okay? So, Julian, stop talking. Make sure you pay attention up here. Now, this is the main part of our table from yesterday we filled in. Now remember we had in the prefix column we had G's, M's, K's, D's, C's, M's, Mu's, and N's. Now those are prefixes. Each prefix corresponds to a certain scientific notation. Certain scientific notation, certain power of 10. Now one thing I'd like you guys to do is go through and where it says G, you have one G and then you have a line and you have the meaning. I want you to write 1 G equals 1 times 10 to the 9th base. Okay? And what that means is that 1 giga whatever, 1 gigagram, 1 gigaliter equals 1 times 10 to the 9th liters. Okay? The scientific notation always goes with the base. The 1 always goes with the prefix. Same thing here. 1 mega equals 1 times 10 to the 6th base. Okay? 1 kilo equals 1 times 10 to the 3rd base. 1 deci equals 1 times 10 to the 1st base. And so on. Okay? Now, the reason I'm writing this is because this is the equivalency, this is the equation that I'm going to use when I'm converting these over here. Okay, so let's do this first one. So I got 300 millimeters to meters. If I look at my table, milli is right here. 1 meter equals 1 times 10 to the negative 3rd millimeters. So 1 millimeter, equals 1 times 10 to the negative 3rd meters. Okay? 1 millimeter equals 1 times 10 to the negative 3rd meters. I hope you guys can all see that. So, if I'm going to convert this, remember our rule. What we want goes on top. What we don't want goes on bottom. Right? So, what we want goes on top, what we don't want goes on bottom. So, I'm going to do 300 millimeters times the thing I don't want goes on bottom. So 1 over millimeters. And what goes on top is 1 times 10 to the negative 3rd meters. Okay? So now I multiply through 300 millimeters cancel out times 1 times 10 to the negative 3rd. Well, 300 times 1 is 300. And now since this is a negative 3rd, that makes my number smaller. So I move my decimal place 3 spots to the left. So I get 0.3 meters. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay? If not, rewind it and watch it again. Next one. 4,000 liters to megaliters. Okay? Look over here. 1 mega equals 1 times 10 to the 6th times the base. So 1 megaliter equals 1 times 10 to the 6th liters. So to convert this, we start with the 4,000. What I want goes on top. I want megaliters. So this whole thing, this whole 1 megaliter goes on top. And what I don't want goes on bottom. So 1 times 10 to the 6 liters goes on bottom. That's like 6 right there. That's a 0. All right. So now my liters will cancel. And I end up with 4,000, times 1 over 1 times 10 to the 6th. Now if you remember, division with an exponent is like subtraction. So it's like multiplying times 10 to the negative 6th. Because 4,000 times 1 gives me 4,000, so it's 4,000 times 10 to the negative 6. Now negative 6, once again, makes my number smaller. So I move 6 spots to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means I need 2 zeros right here. So my answer is 0.004 megaliters. So hopefully that makes sense. Now this last one is one we haven't done yet. It is centimeters to kilometers. Now if you look at our table over here, there's no conversion for centimeters to kilometers. So what we need to do is we need to convert to meters first and then to kilometers. So we'll go centimeters to meters, then meters to kilometers. So what that means is I have to go from centimeters to meters. So I need to use this equation. 1 centimeter equals 1 times 10 to the negative second meters. And I need to use this equation. 1 kilometer equals 1 times 10 to the third meters. So I'm going to take this 200 centimeters and I'm going to convert it to meters first. All right? So 200 centimeters to meters. Oops, I'm starting in centimeters. Didn't leave room for my unit. Starting in centimeters. So what goes on bottom? Centimeters. What goes on top? Meters. Okay, 6. Now I cross out my centimeters, and we end up with 200 times 1 times 10 to the negative second meters, which ends up being 200 times 10 to the negative 2. 200 times 10 to the negative 2 is going to make my 200 smaller. So I got to move my decimal place 2 units to the left, so I end up with 2 meters. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope it does. If it doesn't, rewind it and watch it again. Okay? So now I'm at 2 meters. So now I have 2 meters, and I need to convert that. Into kilometers. If we need to, pop the projector up a little bit so everybody can see the bottom part. So now I'm in 2 meters. I can convert that to kilometers. So if I look at my chart right here, or look at my conversion, kilometers is what I want, so it goes on top. Meters is what I don't want, so it goes on bottom. So now my meters cancel, and I have 2 times 1 kilometer over 1 times 10 to the third meters. Now remember, once again, if it's on bottom, that means subtract it. So I end up with 2 times 10 to the negative third. Right? Because the positive 3 is on bottom, so it becomes negative 3 over there. So that means I got to move my decimal space 2 spaces to the left, because it makes my number smaller. 3 spaces, which gives me 2 zeros. So my answer is 0.002 kilometers. Okay? If that one doesn't make sense, save. There's 2 problems like that on your worksheet today. Save those for Friday, and we'll work on them then. Okay? But I'd like you to try them, all right? I'd like you to try that process out. Once again, if this doesn't make sense, please watch the video again. All right? You can watch it at home. You can watch it here. And one last thing. All right? One last thing I want to tell you. Let's say, for example, we were converting from. Let me erase the top part of my chart. I know. Let's say we were converting from. Let's say I had like 400 nanometers, and I want to convert it to meters. Okay. Well, nanometers to meters is 1 times 10 to the negative 9th meters equals 1 nanometer. Right? Let's switch that. So we got 400 nanometers, and we want to convert to. 400 meters, and we're going to convert that to nanometers. All right? If I have this situation, so I have 400 meters, I want to convert that to nanometers. Now in here, my 1 times 10 to the negative 9th is going to be on bottom, and my nanometers is going to be on top. All right? Because what I want goes on bottom, or what I want goes on top, what I don't want goes on bottom. So now I'm going to cancel out my meters, like so. And here I have 400. This equals 400 times 10 to the. Now it was on bottom. When it's on bottom, that means to subtract it. If I minus a negative, that makes it positive. So now that 9 is going to make my number bigger, which means I move my decimal spot 9 places to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more zeros. So it's now followed by 11 zeros. I think that's right. But basically what I wanted to show you was that if we have a negative on bottom, when we divide by it, it then makes it a positive. Because if we divide by a number smaller, it actually makes our number bigger. All right, I know it's a lot, and I know we covered it quickly yesterday, but I think a lot of us have a good grasp of it. And I think you guys can do well. Your worksheet is the measurement conversion worksheet. Mr. Rewall will give that to you. Please behave, work hard. If you have any questions, you go over tomorrow. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.